Cassius thanked the Lord for these opportunities to wander the wilderness. By the time he would return to the sanctuary, physically worse for wear, a little more gaunt perhaps, and maybe a few sores on his feet. But he had walked the wild before, many times. He knew his spirit would be filled by the end of the 2-week journey. His body would be weak, but his spirit much stronger. And the parishioners would share their astounded thoughts on the idea of these wilderness walks. They would have no idea that Cassius had been on one, or rather they would not be specifically told by the other bishops that he was on a walk, for then the walk would shed some of its purpose, to be abandoned completely, to be humbled, not praised, to be forgotten so that he might remember who it was he served. Cassius could not deny that the walk was among his favorite responsibilities, if it could be called such, of his station. So whenever he caught whispers of awe from his parishioners who had never known true need, he only offered a small smile of empathy for their concern and respect, while within he could not deny his feelings of guilt for being praised in a fashion, for doing only what he enjoyed doing. He repented of this too. But he could not find it in himself to discontinue the walks, no matter how much he enjoyed them. His companion, Ursus, offered him teachings of theophany through the natural world that his oldest books could never hope to reveal. And Ursus would never allow him to truly starve, if it ever came to that. Cassius would not allow him to hunt for him, however. Instead, the bear remained just a companion, just an encouragement, just a teacher. Just as he had the handful of times before, Ursus waited for Cassius just inside the forest, just outside of sight from the cathedral. Together they walked deeper into the long forest, as it was called, to their favorite place, the unknown stream. It was a stream so small and yet so reliable due to the artesian aquifers beneath, that when he mentioned the stream to his fellow bishops, he was met with blank stares, and some envious stares, that he had come upon the life-sustaining entity. And even as he described its location, even in terms of its position beneath the stars, the bishops could not believe he was actually finding this stream. Ursus and Cassius drank the crystalline water. Cardinals and chickadees trilled throughout the canopy. Cassius thanked Messiah for the water, that he was one of the few to know its life. And that was the April 10th writing prompt by this Russian artist, whose name I am not even going to try to pronounce. But yeah, I just loved this imagery so much. Not much to really say in this episode. I just wanted to share a piece of encouragement that I came across. So for a reminder for the anxious/depressed creatives, you're more than what you make. Your productivity does not determine your value. It's okay to do nothing sometimes. Not everything you do has to result in a product. Not everything you make has to be important, significant, or even good. You can make things just for yourself. You can keep secrets for yourself, whether it's not posting some of your projects or not sharing your techniques. You are allowed to say no. You're allowed to rest. And I'll be honest, I've been in a bit of a depressive kind of mood or state of being, so to speak, lately, and it's just kind of different. It kind of came unexpectedly because spring is coming around and we're finally getting some nicer weather, so it's kind of been surprising that I'm feeling this way, but I've just been lacking, maybe not even lacking, maybe that's not even the word I'm looking for, but I'm not sure, I don't feel like I have permission to work on my writing, if that makes any sense. It's like I do feel like I'm wasting my time by writing, and I do feel like it's a selfish thing because I'm taking time out to create this story that might not even mean anything or change anyone's life. And I don't know, like that on top of just having no energy. Like, by the time I'm done with work, I just feel completely drained. Emotionally, intellectually, not necessarily physically, but I mean, writing is a mental thing, so that's what matters. But I come home and it is extremely difficult for me to do anything mental. Even reading, I can't really. It comes and goes, but I'm usually not able to even read until just before bed. And it makes me feel like I'm lacking purpose, because writing has always been like my thing, and the activity and creative expression that really does give me a sense of worth and meaning. And yet I feel like I don't have any direction with it, and I'm not sure how to get that. How do writers feel this innate drive and feeling of ambition for having their piece published? I don't know how to get that, because it's, as much as I do want my story to be published, I just don't have the drive to just really get me there. And I don't know if it's because my energy is in two different areas. Like I have to put my energy into my full-time job, and then after work or before work is my time to do everything else. And then the weekend, there's writing time there. But then it's like, it feels like writing is just, I don't know, like a job that's not paying off in a way. Maybe it has something to do with, like, I can't see immediate results with it, whereas like I am a results-driven type of person, and like seeing a word count go up doesn't cut it for me. Like, that's just too abstract, I guess. I'm the type of person who likes to be able to, like, get rid of clutter and see a cleaner room, or, rake up a garden bed and put the compost in one spot and see the garden bed all cleaned up. And I like seeing things happen, and writing just doesn't do that. But that doesn't mean that it's not fulfilling to me. It's just, I feel like I need some sort of permission, or I'm not even sure. I'm just speaking my mind here, but just trying to figure it out, because I need to change something with my process, because something isn't working. But speaking of word count and getting writing done, I am currently at 73,746 words of Everbound. Some of those words which are just some explanations of characters underneath actual text, but I started writing a little bit of a paragraph for this next Bethel perspective chapter, and I'm thinking part of the reason why I'm not completely involved right now is maybe lack of interest. And I'm gonna put out another episode about writer's block based around this kind of idea. This idea that being subconsciously bored with the chapter kind of causes this, like, disinterest, unsurprisingly, with the entire writing piece and the entire writing process. And it doesn't present itself as what it is. It just presents itself as, I don't feel like writing. And, like, it can be difficult to pin down what the heck is going on. And sometimes there are all these other situations going on in addition to maybe not feeling completely interested or involved with the current chapter or scene. And all those other situations present themselves in a more concrete manner, and it just seems like everything's coming down at you all at once. But so that might be a contributing factor as well. But there's a bunch of sirens going on in the background. Welcome to the East End, as we say. But yeah, I don't know if have any of you guys, like, felt this need for permission to write, or there's a lot of sirens out there. Holy cow. I'm gonna have to turn on the fire radio app. That doesn't sound good. But yeah, I mean, have you guys just felt this way? Like, you can't, like, sometimes you feel like you need permission to just sit down and write, or even like you need like this extra encouragement from friends or family to, like, oh, hey, I'm curious about the chapter you're working on, or where are you at with your story? I'd like to read what you've got so far, and just kind of stuff like that. Or are you the type of writer who doesn't need any of that, and you're kind of just in your own realm, and you have this story and you can just pound it out without any other human interaction, really? Or are you a writer who pretty much just can do everything? Like, you have the drive to do it all, and the encouragement comes from, like, just podcasts and writing articles, and, like, maybe that's it. I'm curious, because I do feel alone in this. Like, I feel like I'm the only writer I know who has so much trouble sitting down and writing a story, because not just there, but because I feel like, I don't know, like, I don't have, like, permission in a way. Like, it's hard to explain that, I guess, but I've always kind of felt like writing has been selfish in a way. And I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll have to articulate this better in another episode. But I would be curious to know your thoughts on this whole idea. And I'll just wrap it up here, because I know this is kind of getting lengthy, and I really do appreciate you listening. And next episode, or coming episodes, I have a writing share from someone else, so that is refreshing. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, thanks again for stopping by, and I hope we all get some writing done very soon. Have a good night, or morning, or afternoon, or whenever you listen to this, and keep writing.